I think the train's already left the station.
We on location. I remember way back. You ain't have no swag. You did a little research. Now you got a moon bag. Now you got a new walk. Now you got new swag. You did a little research. Now you got a moon bag. Well, let me show you what the moon bag's like. You take them gains when it gets that high. I mean, the market may dip for a little bit.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, before we get to the juicy part of the steak, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsors, Lumi Wealth, using algorithms to make investing easier and more profitable.
What is going on, blockchain monkeys? Igor here. I want to thank you for coming to my jungle. First of all, I'm no financial advisor whatsoever. No, I'm a professional in blockchain technology. But there's one thing that I absolutely will do. And that's give you my opinion. So today, what do we have here coming in hot with Quant? Coming in hot with DLT news that's going to knock you out your seat. Before we can even get to it, I'm going to need you to rub those hands together. Ripple vigorously. Let's slide down Twitter. And now, before we get to it, coming in hot, finally, we got DC staking at Globiance, 50 to 77% APY. This will be gone fast. Let's go. Link is in the description. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so hyped today. You can't just hit me with this bullish news like this in a row, knocking them down. Bear market, I don't care. Take a look at this.
That's what the world needs. The major currencies are moving to ISO. There is no choice.
Oh, are they?
So that boat has already left.
You sound like Rosie Rios.
It's left. We cannot go back because as the major clearing currencies.
Look at his eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the seriousness in his face, to his core of his soul.
Move to this rich data, anything is going to follow on that front. So let me illustrate.
Whoa!
How difficult it actually can be to be instant and frictionless by showing you a picture. This is illustrative, right? You will see a chain of banks that are processing a transaction cross.
Somebody needs to get up there and give him a hug. He needs a hug bad. Let's go.
Border. Usually the transaction is initiated by a customer somehow.
Don't interoperability in my face like that. Oh my goodness, babe. Look over here. RTGS, ACH. Okay. All right.
It's either PSPs or a financial institution. It is usually processed in one country or one jurisdiction. And then it needs to cross over that little bar there, cross the border to go to another jurisdiction. And it has the important roles to play that the intermediaries play. The intermediary banks that hold liquidity. This is the biggest asset of the economy. They are key to make sure that transactions flow in between. Now, those could be done by PSPs that hold account in several jurisdictions or banks that hold account in several jurisdictions. We see a future whereby those ecosystems are going to hit RTGS, ACH, instant payment systems. That's what IPS is.
My God, ladies and gentlemen.
CBDCs, tokenized ecosystem, digital currencies, digital wallets, right? And the way either you build a different system along the chain for each, or you try to be smart about it and you say, okay, how do I make sure that we are interoperable?
Hello. Or you try to be smart about it and see how you can be interoperable. Don't quant me in my face like that.
And on the top it's a linear chain. On the bottom is some of the experiments that are happening, where, for example, a lot of market infrastructures are experimenting. How do they interlink? So, for example, the Bank of Israel.
Testing? You mean testing?
John recently launched an experiment.
You mean testing?
Where they interlinked with, I believe, Sweden, Norway, to issue CBDCs cross-border. These are schemes that can work as well, right? They can interconnect directly the liquidity between the two countries. But regardless of the model, you're gonna need to adapt to all of those.
Hey! Okay, now, coming in hot from Crypto Poet, what is this? Ripple ODL joins Amazon's payment service provider program. Okay, so you're joining their program so you can, test it out to see if it's something that you'd likely use in the future. I bet you already tested it. Ladies and gentlemen, now, some more news coming in from the big Quant Papa Bear. You can't put this in my face like this, ladies and gentlemen.
Making cross-border banking services accessible and reliable is paramount to driving growth and development across the globe. Quant is working to create a new digital payment network that will transform lives and markets by enabling seamless cross-border transactions and expanding access to financial inclusion to millions of people.
Today's modern payment system makes almost everything easier. Latin America, around half of people don't have a bank account at all, and about 80% don't have a credit card. That means hundreds of millions of people without access to crucial financial tools like payments, loans, or money transfers. The team at Quant believes blockchain technology can bring financial inclusion to the entire region, going beyond the traditional banking system to help serve the so-called unbanked.
By implementing blockchain technology, they're able to leapfrog all the legacy infrastructure and the barriers that they've had in the past.
Do you see the gorilla? Ladies and gentlemen, let's go.
To real world, real time, and digital assets in a very short period of time, benefiting people by having better payment systems to facilitate more innovation, stronger GDP growth, and allowing for seamless trade between the different parties.
Quant founder and CEO Gilbert Verdian is an expert in using blockchain for payments. Blockchains are like digital records, storing information about transactions or contracts. Quant's platform called
Overledger, baby!
For different blockchains easy. It links them and other legacy systems together, allowing financial services to cross digital and physical borders.
Our approach is bringing the technology to the masses, and you can't be limited by geography. The very nature of blockchain is
global, baby.
And the very nature of how society and businesses operate today is through globalization, is also global.
Now, Quant is providing digital payments for an ambitious project called LACchain, which links 12 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean.
So, ladies and gentlemen, not financial advice whatsoever, but they're putting it right in front of your face. Why not you just eat? Now, what do we have here? XRP broccoli. With a retweet from XRP Gary Gensler, resign, please, okay? Fam, David Jones, head of fintech at MasterCard, there will be different ways of making payments, but it will take some time, or maybe there will be a world-changing event. Now, why would you say something like that? David Jones, head of fintech over at MasterCard. Huh? Take a listen to this.
Different ways of making payments, so open banking, digital, they're clearly going to have a big impact. But maybe not in the way we see. I think the most difficult final step for them to reach is where the real scale is, which is, I'm a consumer, I'm buying something from you as a retailer. There are adjacent payment spaces, B2B particularly, which I think is probably more naturally open to different types of innovative payments. I think it'll be a little while before we see fundamental change in retail payments. I mean, maybe the first thing we might see in the next couple of years is just that process of actually, typing a 16-digit card number is going to start going away. There's going to be different ways of doing that.
Now, he's over at MasterCard. He just told you that 16-digit number is going to be going away. Let's go.
Functionally, it works. It's not the best experience, so it will change. Other than that, I think it'll take some time. Maybe there'll be another world-changing event that accelerates it, right? I mean, hopefully we'll have a couple of years before that.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is not financial advice whatsoever, but I would advise you, if I was a financial advisor, which you can't take as financial advice, is to buy your cryptos and hurry up and wait.
Cause it's the standard in this bitch. XRP. I went to University, and now they mocking me with no degree. We saying by the swift, keep it walking. Respecting elders in these bushes. Bitcoin is talking.
You don't have to be rich to be taking advantage of this. This was the beginning of the greatest transformation of wealth the world has ever fucking seen since World War II.
Blockchain. We talking about an intellectual choo-choo train. It's DLT up in the streets, man. That's why we rip all on that blockchain.